Good afternoon, everybody. Rusty Blackwood here, and I welcome you to my loft on this May 2nd, 2023. And I'm here today to let y'all know that the Kindle version of Return to Autumn Part 2 is now available. I got it uploaded yesterday to Amazon, and everything went fine. You know, like, it helps to cross your fingers when you're doing things like this, because you just never know what you're going to run into and the problems you might be faced throughout the process. But it went fine, and it is there now. If you go and check it out, you will find it. It is listing for $3.99 should you choose to buy it. You can, if you have Kindles and whatever. I do give you the option to view it for free, but it's not free for me to do this, and so I hope that you take that into consideration when you check it out. And so it's a happy day for me. I'm getting there. I still have the hardback to go, but that's a question of just having to put the new ISBN on it, because that differs from the paperback, and Don will get that fixed up and get the interior to me with the changes for the hardback in place, as well as the cover, because there again that differs from the paperback. And you have no idea, I don't think, what goes into publishing books. And maybe if I had known what all it would have entailed, I might have changed my mind before I started to do this. But doesn't matter. I love it. I love all of it, even the aggravation of it. And so I guess that goes to prove that when I say that I have a passion to write, maybe now you can understand what I mean when I say that. It's kind of an odd day here in Niagara. We have the sun is trying to shine right now amongst the clouds. I tapped my barometer a little while ago, and it was moving to better, like coming up, and so that's a good sign. It usually reads anywhere from 24 to 48 hours ahead, and it's really never ever read wrong. And so I'm hoping that it's not going to let us down this time, and that what it is projecting will come to pass, because we have had so much rain and so much cloud, and so they can try all they like, but they will not stop nature, and they will not stop God from controlling nature. He created it, so why would he not continue to be involved? And as they say, they can continue with trying to block out the sun as much as they think they're going to get away with, but in the end won't work. And the sun will get through. Nature always prevails, always has, always will. It will take itself back. I guess I used to watch a program that was on television years ago, and I wish it was still on, because it really was very interesting. If I can recall the title of the program, I think it was something along the lines of what would happen if humans no longer existed. And what it meant was, what would become of the infrastructure on the earth, in the cities, and that if man was no longer there to care for it, to look after it and repair it and keep it in shape. And it was just amazing. And it is very, very true, because that's exactly what they show, is exactly what would happen. And like the Eiffel Tower, for instance, the Eiffel Tower is an iron structure. It's made out of iron. And if it's not kept painted, eventually rust would form and eat through, and it would weaken the structure, and the top of it, with the movement of the earth and whatever, it would collapse. It would fall over. It showed all of this, like their projection of the way they perceived what would happen, what it would look like. And I think pretty much would be the way that it would be. And myself, I think it would be sad, because I've always been extremely drawn to anything French and France and the Eiffel Tower, and so I think if that were to happen, that would be very, very sad. Another one was the Statue of Liberty. In time, her arm, where she holds the torch, out above the harbor, welcoming people in, would eventually disintegrate and fall, and her crown, the spikes of her crown, eventually the same thing, and would fall, and would just deteriorate. The same as so many different things. If it's not kept tended to and kept repaired when it starts to weaken, and kept painted against the elements and protected, and so on. And so as I say, when I see what goes on in the world, what's going on right now, and the consistency of it, how they just constantly persist, thinking, trying to move toward their goal, and thinking that they're going to celebrate it, they're going to be in for a huge disappointment, because it may seem like, that they may think that they are 2 steps ahead, but when all is said and done, they're going to find exactly where they are, and they're not going to be very happy. And I couldn't be happier that this will eventually come to them. And so, the old saying, do what you will, as long as you harm none while doing so. And that's very true. I've seen that prevail so many times. The same with karma. What you put out there comes back to you threefold. And so, best have the best intentions before you go putting something out there. And if you purposely put something out there that's going to bring untold harm to people, best be prepared for what's coming your way. Sooner or later, eventually, it will. It always has, and it always will. And so, I'll get down off my soapbox now. And, hope I'm not being censored, because that's going on right now as well. But it is what it is, and you can't cower in the corner, and you can't be afraid to state your opinions and your feelings, and because that is your right as a Canadian citizen to do so. The same with an American citizen. The Western world, we've always been free, and we've had men and women give their lives, many, many, many lives, to keep us free. And I think people need to remember that more than they seem to. And so, so getting back to the basis for this video today, the release of the Kindle of Return to Autumn Part 2. I've been, as I said in an earlier video, that this has been sort of bittersweet for me because I have lived with this story for so long and with these characters in my mind for so long. And so to see it come to an end is kind of bittersweet. And so I've been thinking, I haven't committed myself wholly yet, so I, don't quote me or take me 100% here, that I've been thinking of writing a prequel to the Autumn trilogy, and I'm going to center it, if I do it, I'm going to center it around Cyril's early life, Cyril Landon's early life, before he found success. And because even though the Autumn story revolved primarily around Autumn, and Cyril becomes a huge part of that, of her life, of that life, so much happened to him prior to him ever coming to America to work for Oliver Green. And I kind of like to touch on that. I kind of would like to dwell more into Cyril's past and how he came to become involved with horses, and how he came to America, what brought him here, and his life once he got here, and of course meeting Alice and what their lives were like, the three children that they lost, and then also William Brown and Manfred Montgomery, their lives and how they came to be where they met Cyril, and for that matter even Autumn, like her, a little bit more of her younger life, and hers and Abigail's life, and how it came to be the way you read in The Perils of Autumn, where what has become the Autumn trilogy first began, the first novel. And so I've been really seriously thinking about that since I've finished the Autumn series, and I think that it could be a very entertaining book. I will just say book, one book, not another series, but one novel. And so I'm going to think more about that, and if I do, I'll keep you updated on it. I've been sort of kicking a title around in my head, sort of thinking like Before the Grandeur, as a title, and maybe a subtitle that might say The Rise of a Horse Master, or something to that extent. As I say, these are just ideas presently, that I've been thinking about, and I give me some feedback. Like, let me know, would you be interested in a prequel to the Autumn series, so that you learn maybe even a little bit more about the characters of the Autumn series, and what their lives were like before The Perils of Autumn. And because everybody has a history. When you're writing a book, you give a history to your characters, but you may only go back so far with their history before they appear in the novel that they're appearing in, where they're initially being introduced. And I have read prequels to different books that I enjoyed where a prequel was written, and it's a very interesting concept, because you learn, you think you know a character through the book that you've read, or the series of books revolving around certain characters, and then you read a prequel where it speaks about their life from the time they're born, or at least way back before you come to know them in the initial book that you met them in. And it's very interesting, the things that you can find out, the things that a writer can do, and the life they can give them. And so I'm thinking about that, very seriously thinking about that, and I think now would be a good time to begin doing that, when the autumn series is still so fresh in my mind, and so it would be much easier to write a prequel, as opposed to waiting a couple of years or something, and then having to go back and refresh your memory, read the books again, in order to get yourself in the right mindset, and everything is fresh again. There's even Dear Duff Taylor. A prequel can give you all kinds of explanations as to why he did some of the things that he comes to do, and some of it is explained in the end of like in Return to Autumn 2, near the end of the book, when everything happens the way it happens. I'm not going to tell you all what happens. You have to read the book to find out. But he speaks a bit about his early beginnings, his past, and he does that. I don't know whether he does it to clear his conscience, or thinking through what he reveals will make things easier on him, when he's finally facing, paying the piper, facing what he comes to have to face. And but there again, he would be another interesting character to involve in a prequel. So you see things maybe more from his point of view, and possibly even writing the scenes of the secret of what had happened, and how, what he goes through to have to cover this up and everything. And so I'm going to give it some good thought, and I will keep you updated and let you know what if I'm going to do it, and if I begin, how it's coming along. I think involving readers in a project that a writer that they follow is doing or thinking about, I think it's very important, because I think it helps to give a reader more inclusion into the process of a book that they eventually will read, and how it came to be, and what's going on with it. And so I've never done a prequel to a book. I have been asked about doing a prequel to Passions in Paris, Revelations of a Lost Diary. And I had one reader ask me if I would ever consider doing that, because she was very interested to find out about the character of Philippe Robillard, and how he came to be the way he is, and which may account for some of the horrific things that he does, and how he come to meet Dr. André Desjardins. Um, and Andre is a very, very interesting character. He's multifaceted. He's so many different things. And there again, I think if I could meet any of my characters, should they actually exist, Andre Desjardins would be one that I would very much like to meet. I think even Philippe, um, I would like to meet. I'd like to be able to sit down and pick his brain and find out and ask him why'd you do some of these things that you did, like what's your mindset, like how do you think about things in order to actually do some of the things that you did, and first and foremost, are you sorry? Like, these are fictional characters. I know I ought to know, they come from my head, but to me, they exist, and should they actually exist in real life, I have a few that I would love to sit and have coffee with, or have wine with, and talk to, and get to know them even better than I know them, and of course Cyril Landon. Um, he definitely would be one of the first ones that I would want to meet. And so I'm going to go for today so I can get this uploaded and carry on with my day. I've got some things that I have to do, and it takes a while for the upload to take place. I use OneDrive, and it goes from my laptop to my desktop, and getting it uploaded there, and then getting it uploaded to YouTube, and what it has to go through there and into its high definition and stuff. And so I hope that you all have a really good day. You're having a good day wherever you are. And if it's just starting for you, if it's morning, I hope you have an entirely fantastical day ahead of you. And if it's afternoon, like it is for me here, I hope you've had a good morning and you're having a good afternoon. And if it's nighttime for you, I hope you've had a great day. And looking forward to another fantastic day tomorrow. So, God's blessings to each of you, and I will be back again soon with a new video. Please like this video. Please share it about if you would. Please comment it, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm very, very appreciative and thankful for those who have subscribed. And before I do sign off, I want to give a huge shout out of thanks to all of the reviewers who have been requesting reviews for Return to Autumn Part 2, and have done reviews for The Perils of Autumn and Return to Autumn Part 1. And I applaud each of you. I thank you so very much for your interest in my work and for the wonderful reviews that you're giving my work. And also I want to thank all of those who have requested interviews with me. I thank you again, because it all helps for readers to get to know an author in maybe ways that they didn't before. So again, thank you so much. So take care, everybody. You stay healthy, stay strong, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace out.